Welcome back, everybody. The History Guy here, ready to take on the year 1912 in the Great War mod of Hearts of Iron 4. I am now no longer the Austria-Hungarian Empire. I am just Austria. That has happened since I became a monarchy. That's why the flag has changed. That's why the country has changed. So we will see what the first full year of being a democracy holds for my great country as we hurtle further down the road toward possible war. I'm just curious to see, now that I'm a democracy, what my options are. Obviously, I can't declare war. I can't justify a war goal unless world tension gets to 15%. I don't imagine that'll take a whole lot, but I'm kind of looking at Romania as a possibility for expansion. But I want to be cautious because I don't know what's going to happen in the rest of the world yet. This is a interesting year in the history of the world. It's the year the Titanic sank in April of 1912. It's the year that Woodrow Wilson was elected President of the United States. He argued for a position of neutrality in the war that came in Europe, but eventually that changed when German U-boats started sinking American shipping that possibly was supplying the United Kingdom, and that drew the United States into the war. Alright, so there it is. We have left the Central Powers. So now it really gets interesting. Well, we've got some exiled divisions, yeah, because I had some units stationed down here in Bosnia, which is no longer an ally. So we're going to have to pull them out. Now, here's the question. Where do we go? So we can renew the Triple Alliance, and that, of course, would make it an alliance with Italy and Germany, which I'm not inclined to do at the moment. Let's see what limited rationing will do. It gives me army experience and political power. I'm not sure what else. It looks like that's it. Dismantle Austria-Hungary would release the Kingdom of Hungary, which I'm not inclined to do that right now. So let's think about other options. We've got what about Romanian rapprochement? That would kind of preclude me from invading Romania, I guess, because that would actually kind of make them an ally. Not really inclined to do that. So a lot of decisions to make here, but let's go ahead and look at what else we've got available to us. Might have to go back and focus on infrastructure for a little while here. So let's go ahead with armament effort. Continue to build up that ability to make war for when the time comes. So we're going ahead and pulling our forces out here. Let's go ahead and draw new borders for the Balkan Command. Obviously now they're going to be stationed outside of Bosnia, and that's obviously going to make Bosnia a little nervous, I would think. Let's extend that line so it's not just around Bosnia. Alright, let's take a look at production for a little while here, construction as well. We're working on some military factories right now. Looks like our first battle cruiser's finally going to be done soon. Recruitment, we're just waiting on support equipment. That's been kind of the thing that's been slowing me down all the way along, so I really need to focus more on support equipment. There we go. That'll get those built a little faster. Lots of modify government choices here. Let's see if we're able to do anything with some of these. Well, we can't really go that route just yet. We don't have enough of a move toward war. How about partial mobilization? Nope. We'd have to be fascist or communist. 15% world tension seems to be kind of the magic number. That'll allow me to justify war goals. It'll allow me to start mobilizing my economy. So right now it's at 8%. So it wouldn't take much, maybe a major war breaking out somewhere, to get us that step, to be able to start making some tough decisions that may affect things on a world stage. Alright, so we're taking our first step toward armor here, but we're still a long way off from tanks. A lot of these choices just really aren't options for me right now. So again, I'm left with a bunch of bad choices that I don't really care for, but I gotta research something, so that's what we'll do. Things are going to start slowing down as more and more units occupy the battlefield, so I may find myself not getting through an entire year in future episodes after this one. We'll see how well we do on this particular episode. So let's see how we're doing diplomacy-wise. Obviously, Germans are still our best friend. Okay, what happened here? Grand Duke William IV of Luxembourg, the second independent ruler of the country and its first Catholic monarch, has died today after 5 years of regency due to poor health and old age. Marie Adelaide has ascended to the throne and is expected to carry on his legacy. She is now the Grand Duchess. Now, in a surprising move, several Balkan countries, including rival states Serbia and Bulgaria, have come together to form the Balkan League, a military alliance stated to have been built up against Austria-Hungary. Though the alliance target is the Habsburgs, which don't exist anymore, it seems far more likely that the state divides these four nations would be their target. The League is formed. Yeah, well, the Habsburgs are no longer in power, so back off. So as you can see, our next democratic elections are in May of 1915. Let's see what these guys are up to. They're on an armament effort as well. Ottomans are supporting reform. That's probably a good thing for them. Romania is working on infrastructure. Alright, another research complete. Again, not a whole lot I can do here, but just need to be thinking about the war to come and how I can best prepare for that. Air research still a ways off. I guess we're going with torpedo propulsion, even though I'm not really building any ships that will use torpedoes. Alright, so we're good for a while here. Going to add a military factory, so we're continuing that effort toward building up for war. Let's see what's going on in the world here. Current wars. The Mexican Civil War is finally going strongly in favor of the defenders. The Italian aggression war against the Ottomans is still in a complete stalemate. So here we go. It looks like the Mexican opposition is going to triumph in that civil war. They're starting to close in on victory. That one's been going on pretty much since I started playing this game. I think that started in the first year. So as you can see, the United Kingdom at this time includes all of Ireland. This is before Northern Ireland stayed with the UK and the rest of the island became an independent nation. And of course that is where the Titanic sailed from finally. They left Southampton over here. I think they ended up going to France, made another stop over here, maybe somewhere in England, stopped in County Cork, Ireland, and then made their way west. Alright, we're going to continue working on things here. We'll go construction effort. And we're coming up on the sailing of the Titanic. I imagine that'll be something that'll get mentioned. Titanic had two sister ships, the Olympic and the Britannic. And they were both just as big as she was. I think the Britannic actually served as a hospital ship during the war and may have even been sunk. I can't remember for sure, but for some reason I seem to recall them, or one of those sister ships, being sunk somewhere in the Mediterranean during the war. So here we go. We're going to get that news here pretty soon because it hit the iceberg on the 14th, sank on the 15th of April. And I imagine we'll get a notification here in just a minute about that one. Here we go. Perhaps not. Oh, there it is. Okay, so the RMS Titanic, thought to be unsinkable, has met its end on one of the largest maritime disasters in history, with over 1,500 dead. Already debates are cropping up from the local coffee shops all the way up to the parliaments throughout Europe and North America as to why the ship was not properly equipped with enough life rafts, why the comm system was disabled, and why exactly the ship crashed into an iceberg to begin with. This tragedy has attracted international attention and spurred a massive overhaul in maritime safety standards. Yeah, a lot of things that were tragic about that. Not the least of which was that there was a ship that was, I think it was called the Californian, that was well in range that could have come and picked up everybody. Most of the people survived the sinking and died in the frigid water afterwards. They recovered hundreds of bodies floating in the water that had just frozen to death from hypothermia. The Olympic Games in Stockholm have opened. New events that will be included this year include art competitions, the decathlon, and even some first physical events for women. Will we attend the ceremonies? Yes, we will attend. Interesting little tidbit. One of the competitors at the 1912 Olympics was an American who participated in, I think it was called the pentathlon, and his name was George S. Patton. And I believe he actually finished 4th or 5th in that event, and he was the top non-European, or even, I think they were held in Stockholm that year. I think he may have even been the top non-Scandinavian to win, something like that. But anyway, he did really, really well. It was an event that involved athletic events as well as shooting. And there was some controversy because he used a larger caliber gun. It was a very George Patton thing to do. But he used a larger caliber gun than the other competitors, and he argued that one of his shots, rather than missing completely, had actually gone through the same bullet hole. And that was why he ended up not medaling, was because they said it missed completely, and he argued that it just went through the same hole because his aim was that good. So just an interesting little tidbit about the 1912 Olympics. Okay, so let's see what's happening here. We've got another division that has been placed in the field, and we need to assign them. So let's take a look and see where they're at. Is that this one here? Nope, that's not one of mine. Where is he? Alright, well, we can just do it this way. There we go. Alright, research slot available. And I'm really just torn about where to go with research right now because there's just really no good option. I guess we'll just go with anything that is not going to be hit with a big penalty because it's so far in advance. Now, this is one that we did do in advance just because I wanted to get a head start on that one. So even though it's a 1913 technology, I wanted to get that one so I could be well on my way to armor because I really want to have armor early in this war when it happens. Alright, so let's get some more military factories going. I want to just really be able to just mass produce things when the time comes. I want to have a good economy for that. Another unassigned division. There we go. So at some point here I'll probably stop with the drilling for a while, just to let my army stop using supplies and start just producing more units. In fact, maybe I'll just go ahead and do that now. And all these units, obviously, they have good experience now. Whoa, 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 whoa. Serbia has declared war on the Ottoman Empire. Okay, that's not unexpected. Actually, there were a couple of wars that took place in these years leading up to the World War One. So this shouldn't be a big surprise. I guess I'm not too worried about that. However, what it does is push the world tension over 15%. So now it's a whole new ball game for me. A lot of new options available to me here. We're not after 1913, so I can't go after these other efforts yet. So let's go ahead and switch over this way and start focusing on... Oh, I already did that one. Okay, excellent. Let's go equipment effort, artillery, doctrine effort. There we go. Let's do that. I want to get those doctrines moving up. Alright, so back to where I was starting to focus here before, and that's to stop all the drilling, the exercises that are happening, and I want to start preparing my forces in other ways. So, there we have that. So here we go, the war in the Balkans, taking advantage of the weakness of the Ottoman Empire following the Italo-Turkish War. Members of the Balkan League declared war against the Ottoman Empire. Will the Ottoman Empire survive this attack? You know, this might not be such a bad thing. I wonder if this is a good opportunity to say, hey, Ottomans, why don't we join the same side here? It doesn't look like it's even going to give me the option to do that, but at the very least, I'm going to work on my relations with them. Because, boy, if they were to join with me and I could just kind of join that war, I could just gobble up some of these countries here. Problem is, Bosnia, it looks like they are no longer an ally of the Germans. What about Serbia? See, they've got the Balkan League thing going on here, so I would have to go to war with all of the Balkans. But, hey, maybe that's the thing to do. What about Romania? Nothing. Okay, perfect. They haven't generated any world tension, so I can't go after them, even though world tension's over 15%. They're not a cause of it. Okay. What about Serbia? No? Can declare war on country with the same ideology group without a war goal. I can't do it. So my options are still pretty limited. Is there anybody I can justify against? Yeah, probably that. Nope, not even the Ottomans. Alright, so I guess for now, we just need to be content that we're not at war, and war will come to me soon enough, I'm sure. So we're about to complete another one of our land doctrines. I'm going to step away from land doctrine for a minute just because I'm going to get a bonus to that with my next national focus being completed here very soon. In the meantime, what else can I focus on? Here we go. So that'll help when we do get to having armor. Unassigned divisions. Alright. So how many divisions do I have total right now is the question. Looks like 38, 48, 51, 78 divisions. That's not bad for 1912. My goal is to get it up over 100 before any war breaks out. I think I'm well on my way to that. And as you can see, the sim speed's starting to slow down. That's only going to continue as things move along. Now, I can move to partial mobilization because the world tension's over 15%. So there we go. That'll help with the economy. That'll help with production. And now we can get the ball rolling on some of these units, which another one of them looks like it just went into the field. Looks like I can stop importing from the Russians as well because I'm producing enough there. Excellent. So I'm once again producing enough for myself of everything. Got another unassigned division. All right. So if they're coming fast and furious now in production, and I could really just field these ones right away if I wanted to. But I want them to be fully trained. I want them to be in good position to fight well right out of the gate. Alright, so we're going to have another thing coming up here soon. Let's take a look at our division makeup here and see if there's anything I can do to improve these divisions with some of these army experience points that I've added. Alright, so support artillery, field maintenance company would probably be really good. Well, it doesn't really add a lot but hit points, and that's not necessarily helpful right now. I do got to pause for a second here because looks like I'm insufficient on resources. Alright, we got to produce wood. Let's trade for that with the Russians. Okay, so where was I? I was looking at what about the infantry divisions? What can I add? How about a field hospital? That's very helpful for infantry divisions. So let's go ahead and add field hospitals to all of our infantry divisions. That's going to make them a little more effective in the field. Alright, the Emperor of where? Alright, hold on. Oh, this is the Emperor of Japan. Okay, so he died. Didn't realize that happened. So the shrine does not contain the Emperor's grave, which is located at in the south of Kyoto. So new Emperor in Japan. Glory to the Emperor. Alright, let's continue on. It's into August now of 1912. What else can we do here? Let's take a look. No, we don't really need to change the conscription laws right now. I've still got a decent amount of manpower. Although if a war breaks out, that's going to go down really, really fast. That's not something I'm going to need for a while there. Tank designer. That would have probably been helpful earlier on, but that's something I'll go ahead and do now because I'm definitely going to focus on armor when I'm able to. I want to have kind of a... I'm going to take a page out of the German playbook of World War II, go for Blitzkrieg, Lightning War, as a German-speaking people myself. At least part of my country is German-speaking. I'm kind of a conglomerate of different things. All right, so the war in Mexico is finally complete. And now we have another national focus option. Let's go ahead and take a look here. Balkans policy. Oh yeah, here we go. Now we're talking. Let's start focusing on the Balkans. Very good. I like that. Porfirio Diaz is no longer the president of Mexico. Diaz fell from power after he imprisoned Francisco Madero, his electoral rival, and declared himself the winner of an 8th term in office. He's been deposed in the Mexican Revolution. Adios, amigo. All right, so we're into the fall of 1912 coming up here soon. So now this country is known as the Mexican Opposition. And there we have Francisco Madero, who is the leader of a country that has no elections. All right, we got to trade for some more wood. Using up a lot of wood here, Russia. We need some more. So let's take a look at world tension as it stands right now. We still have the Serbian-Ottoman War going on, and we have the Italian aggression war as well. So the Ottomans are at war with 2 different nations right now. I'd sure like to jump in on that, but that's not to be at the moment. All right, now we can go back to focusing on our land doctrine now that I've got that bonus, that 20% research bonus. Make that go a little faster. That was fast. I wonder why that national focus did not seem like it took very long. Maybe it just wasn't meant to take that long. Alright, so First Balkan War reaction. So what will this mean? Just a bonus in political power, but then let's just see where this is going to lead to. Send troops to help Bulgaria. That's if they're in the Second Balkan War, which comes afterwards. Alright, so how about we go for the total annexation of Bosnia and Herzegovina. That'll hurt my national unity, but my national unity is really good right now. So, this one only takes 14 days, that's why. Alright, so here's our first big step as a democratic power. We're going to, honestly, the border looks a lot better if we gobble these guys up, because, this border here is just really weird. If I'm living down here, I got to go all the way around to get to see my relatives that live up here. Nah, not cool. Let's gobble these guys up. Then we can just drive straight across. Plus, it gives us Sarajevo, and hopefully there's some industry that goes with that in production. There's an air base there, so that's helpful. It's a level 5 air base. So let's see how that goes. Should be coming up here any moment now. It's only a 14-day thing. Alright, thank you very much. We have now annexed them. Doesn't that look a lot nicer? That's just the way it should be. It looks better on a map that way. So, alright, so now we've got our Balkan Command can shift once again because that's part of our country now. Now we got to look back at our national focus. Alright, so what's this do? This gives me 10,000 of manpower. I don't really need that right now, so that's not a huge deal. Alright, so maybe we focus back on industry again here. Awesome. That's going to add some infrastructure. Every little bit helps. Still got unassigned divisions here. Let's see how the production's going along here. I think we could probably add some to this production the way it's going. Alright, so let's maybe start producing a couple of mountain divisions. Gebirgsjäger. I don't know how to pronounce that first part, but I know that's Jäger, which means hunter in German. Fallschirmjäger were the parachute hunters. That was basically their equivalent to our parachute infantry brigades, or infantry regiments. Let's take a look. Just filling in the research gaps right now here. Another unassigned division. Make sure we're making the best use of production. Looks like everything's going along nicely right now. Alright, so what's going on here? Even among the Habsburg family, the supporters of reorganizing the empire from a dualist to a trialist one included Crown Prince Rudolf, who supports federalization of the monarchy, and Archduke Franz Ferdinand, who is the most prominent trialist supporter. Once again, a trialist proposal has been made. What should we do? So I guess what they're saying is, instead of this being Austria-Hungary, it would be Austria-Hungary, Yugoslavia? I don't know. So, yeah, the independent state, Kingdom of Hungary becomes a puppet of Austria. Independent state of Croatia becomes a puppet of Austria. So I'd basically be releasing those two nations. That helps with national unity, division organization, research time. But I'm not entirely sure that's the route I want to go. So it's going to hurt me in national unity and political power, but hey, that's a chance we got to take. I'm not ready to split this country up just yet. I just think that's going to hurt me more than I really care to do right now. So we'll reject that for now. It may be something we revisit down the road, but not right now. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and I think this will probably be the last year that I get through an entire year in one episode, because we get into 1913, things are going to start slowing down even further. As it stands, this is going to be a rather long episode because it starts to sim a little slower now that we're getting this far into the game. I'm just producing units right and left. And we got to make another change in resources here. We need some oil, which we'll get from the Russians. Lots of new divisions entering the field. I'm now up to 86 divisions, so it won't be long at all until I hit that magic number that I was aiming for of 100. So what's happening with these wars? Both of the wars with the Ottomans are very much a stalemate right now. I'd love to get involved. So managing our occupied territories, you can see we basically occupy parts of 5 different nations right now that could be released if I choose to, but I do not choose to right now. There's really just no good options for me at the moment. If I'd stayed a monarchy, perhaps there could have been some options to me. Alright, so there is our completion of that upgrade to our armor. Of course, the next one, now we're hitting 2016 or 1916, so really not an option right now. Land doctrines moving along. What do we got in engineering? Anything? That one's really far in advance. But you know what? I'm going to go ahead and start working on tank prototype. That'll move along quicker as time goes on. Outdated equipment in production. Probably the armored car. Yep. Alright, so we can produce a new armored vehicle. Which means, of course, that we're going to need upgrades. And I need to look as well at my factories, because pretty soon here we're going to be completing those ones. So just let's take a look at infrastructure for a second here, if there's any weak points in the infrastructure. There are a few. So we'll do that. Those are relatively quick upgrades. They happen with not much effort. Right, and then back to some military factories here. I'm going to start running out of places I can build those. Okay, so we're in November 1912 now. The world is quiet, almost too quiet at the moment. And very little happening in these wars. It seems like pretty much a standstill at the moment. I wonder if I could sway that by allowing Italy military access. Let's be nice and allow military access to the Italians. That should certainly shake things up, because now they can pass through my territory right here. I'm not going to focus on my navy. Let's go all the way over here and see what other options may be available. Italian loyalty. Not sure. Assert the position in the east. Alright, let's go that route. Start doing some diplomacy with the Romanians and the Russians. See what comes of it. Doesn't look like the Italians are too eager to move through my territory. More wood needed. Keep producing more and more as I get more factories in line. Looks like support equipment's starting to catch up with where we need it to be. So maybe I can focus on other things. Which of course now means that I need to import more wood. And oil. Might be time to start switching back on my trade policies. I'm not sure. So I'm basically just researching anything and everything that I can that are within my time frame right now, just to kind of press through to where I'll be able to do some new things. Once I get into 1913, I'm going to have to spend a little bit more focus on my military, getting them positioned based on where I think things are going to happen, start getting some war plans in place for potential wars that could happen so that my folks are trained and ready to go. Man, trading for all kinds of wood from the Russians right now. Almost called them the Soviets. Okay, so we're at the end of 1912. I'm going to go ahead and wrap things up right there. As always, if you have any suggestions or input or requests of where you'd like to see me go with this, this is an interactive series. I'm doing one episode a day. So if you've got ideas, now's your chance to throw them out there, and I'll try to put those in play if I can. This will be kind of like reading one of those choose your own ending books. If you guys want to have input into where you think this story should go, throw it out there, and maybe I'll try to take those things into consideration. For now, thanks for watching, and we will see you tomorrow with another episode.